back, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. And you know I am more than excited about today's show. Guys, I know y'all saw that game. That's all I'm going to say. You see the title. You see I'm basically specifically focusing on the fourth quarter because that's really all we have to talk about. I'll definitely talk about a few things early on in the game. But guys, I don't even have to spend a lot of time this week. This game meant everything. You guys know that. You Steelers fans, all of you true-blooded Steelers fans who know the rivalry, you know what we've been dealing with the last few years, guys. You know, as far as getting into the playoffs, not doing it on our own merit, you know, waiting for someone else to lose or someone else to win in order for us to get in. And to me, I think it was a little cheap that way. I don't like it that way. I'll take it, but I don't like when we got to rely on another team to get in the playoffs. I like when we stamp our own ticket and get in there. And that's what I said last week. That's what a whole bunch of other guys said. You know, even other commentators, Mike Tomlin said it. Shout outs to my boy Tony. My man Tony and I speak every week. He said the same thing. This was the game that meant everything. It's your rival. I mean, the bitter rivalry that it is. The Ravens have been beating the Steelers. I think I heard a stat that says 6 out of the last 7. Wow, that's crazy. Now I knew they had beat us the last, few, matchups, last, I'll say 3 to 4, but I didn't realize it was the last 6 out of 7. That's huge. But the thing about this rivalry, man, with the Ravens, you got to respect it. That's why it is the best rivalry, I still think, in the NFL, because sometimes one team is going to get the best of the others. Usually going to be a competitive game. Y'all remember, how many times that those games came down to 3 points. Look at this one, a 4-point victory. It's always going to be like that. And sometimes when you have a great rivalry, the other team is going to have their way. It used to be a time when the Steelers had their way with the Ravens. Y'all remember that time when we beat them 3 times in one season, and also again the 3rd time in the playoffs. It happens like that. It just hurts when it's your team that's getting the worst of it. But I kept saying, this is the game, man, that's got to get you off of that slide. We got to get off of that losing streak. It's in your house. It's Christmas Day. Everyone's watching. 14.8 million viewers from what they said set a record for the NFL Network in a single season, a regular season game, I guess you would say. That's all you could ask for, and they got the job done. Now let's talk about the game real quickly, guys. Like I said, I don't have much to talk about. I'm so excited. I'm still ecstatic about what I saw. At the same time, I'm clutching my heart, because boy, did I have a few heart attacks in that game. Let's talk about the early portions of the game. We came out on fire. And I like what I saw out of that first drive, man, because everybody was saying without having Ladarius Green, that was going to be a weapon that the Ravens weren't used to defending. So I was wondering where we were going to pick up that slack. We come down, we open up the game very well, nice defensive possession, we get the ball, go down and get a touchdown. And who gets the touchdown? Xavier Grimble. How fitting it would be a tight end streaking down the middle to get the touchdown when we're all thinking that Ladarius Green would be that guy that was going to, put a little pressure on that defense. So I'm thinking we're starting off pretty well. Next, couple possessions, the Ravens drive down, they get a field goal, so it was a good, stand in the red zone and keep those guys out of the end zone. I'm happy about that. But then you fast forward to later on in the game, and there was a point where it was 10-20. Wasn't looking good, guys. I mean, my heart, I'm telling you, I was panicking because what I saw, if you guys remember, when it was 2010, or it might have been that drive when they were going to get the 20th point, I can't remember, but there was a point in the game where, I think it was already 2010, and they was driving down the field, a run game. I mean, they was getting 6 to 7 to 8 yards a carry. And I said to myself right then, this game is over. I said that. And I'm usually not an emotional fan, but I was emotional. And when I say emotional, I'm talking about getting depressed like right away, up and down. I'm usually not that type of fan. I'm very emotional as far as putting my emotion in the game, but I usually don't panic. I'm going to tell you right now, when they had that 10-point lead and they was running the ball down our throat, I thought it was over. And all I could say was, not again, man. Not again. Not again. And fourth quarter comes. And our Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, do y'all realize they scored 21 points in 12 minutes? Phenomenal. That is the type of offense that we are capable of putting forth. That's it right there. Now let's talk about a few negatives, guys. Defensively, I'm still not completely confident with our defense. Again, shout out to my boy Tony. Him and I just talked earlier today, and he said at one point he actually felt a little better about the defense rather than the offense. And let me explain why he said that, and I fully agree, because it happened in this game. Sometimes Ben Roethlisberger will force stuff, and he throws picks. He threw 2 of them in the game. Now, the first one, what happens. The second one, if you look at that play, and this is the key thing to point out, we ran a play similar to that earlier in the game where Antonio Brown was like waiting for the screen, Ben faked the screen, and he threw it to the up man. He threw it to Eli Rogers, right? On that third down. Eli almost picked it up. It was like 3rd and 20 or something like that, because a holding penalty or something like that pushed us back, right? Almost got the first down. Pretty good looking play. So then on that particular interception, when your boy CJ Mosley picked it off, Ben did the same thing. It was like a fake pump to the screen, and then he looks at, I think it was Jesse James that was over there, but it was so telegraphed, he just forced it in there. CJ Mosley's right there, undercuts it, get underneath it, picks it off. And I'm looking at Ben like, what are you doing? Why? Now here's the thing that you got to understand about Ben Roethlisberger. Ben, to me, not so much, it's not as bad as how Favre was with interceptions, but I compare Ben to Favre in this regard. Ben will force some things at times, and we got to deal with it. We just got to deal with it. But it usually happens against the division opponents. Y'all ever notice that? Like last year, when he came back off an injury in Cincinnati, came to Heinz Field, I was at that game, and he throws those 3 interceptions. Remember the play? He could have easily ran for the first down, but he forced it, threw an interception on the sideline, killed the drive. You see what I'm saying? He has the tendency to do that, but I think the reason why it happens is because, divisional opponents pretty much know what you like to do. So it's always a cat and mouse, a guessing game. And when that happens, sometimes you're going to force some things because you're trying to do something that other team doesn't recognize. Look at the New York Giants this year and how they have played the Cowboys. Cowboys are beating everybody else up, right? But they can't beat the Giants. You see what I'm saying? So Ben usually tends to do that against a Ravens or a Bengals team every now and then against the Browns. So you kind of got to live with the good, take the good with the bad, and I would take Ben any given day, because when the game is on the line, he is one of the most clutch guys that you're going to find. I'll take him any day, but he's going to give you those panic moments at times. So if you look at that, guys, offensively in that game, I was a little bit worried, but I knew if we had an opportunity, we still got a powerful offense and we would show up. So, I know I said a whole lot right there, guys. I hope I didn't lose you guys. But to get back to my original point, I was scared of the defense. Because that defense, it just looks like we were deflated. We're missing tackles. And I understand the Ravens were trying to play for their playoff life as well. So you're going to get a rough and tough physical game. But I was like, man, this game is not looking good. So anyway, fast forward to the 4th quarter. And Ben looked like the elite quarterback that he is. I mean, he's getting everybody involved. Jesse James is involved. DeMarcus Ayers made a nice catch. He's showing up. He played a couple snaps. Also, nice veteran-like move by DeMarcus Ayers on that deep throw downfield that got the PI. I think that changed the tide for us. That was a huge penalty. But again, like my man Tony pointed out, Ayers kind of slowed down a bit to let the DB run through his back, got the call. And it's funny because I heard Ben say if he would have gave him a better ball, that's probably a touchdown. So DeMarcus Ayers could be a sneaky weapon for us at some point. And I'm going to be definitely keeping my eye on him, man, because obviously he's worked his way up to the active roster and was able to play a little bit in this game. And I want to see if we're going to actually give him a chance to return the ball. That's where he's supposed to be good at. But keep your eye on a guy like that. And like I said, Jesse James showed up. Of course, Ladarius Green will be back for the playoffs, so we can only imagine what that would be. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, man. What else can I say about these guys, man? I mean, again, usually we don't run against the Ravens. If I'm not mistaken, the Ravens come in with the number one defense, guys. The number one run defense. And we ran it down their throat for the most part. 122 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Le'Veon gets a receiving touchdown, keeping the legs churning. I mean, we just played it. We played like we wanted it. Like I said, the defense suffered a little bit, but we really played like we wanted it on offense. There was no quit. They showed resiliency. Just made me proud, man. And then that last play, guys, Antonio Brown. I mean, to have the awareness and the strength, that combination, to know that I'm right there. You know, he bends down, takes the contact, keeps his feet moving, and then aware enough to stretch the ball out. What else can you say, man? These guys are our superstars. And when I see those guys play like that, I definitely feel like I'm not just being biased by saying arguably Antonio could be the best receiver in the league. Arguably Le'Veon Bell is the best receiver in the league. Because when you see these boys play like that, how can you question it? And let me not forget the offensive line. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Did you see how they was mauling the Ravens? I mean, it's a play, guys. I don't know if y'all remember it, but it's a play that it went around on Twitter that Ramon Foster blew up one of those linebackers. I mean, it won't even fair. Like in the tweet, whoever tweeted it out, it might have been SteelersDepot.com. Somebody like that tweeted it out, and it said anywhere else this would be illegal. I mean, he mauled this dude. And that's what I'm talking about, man. If we can get that type of game, remember what I said in last week's show, if we can get a full game from the offense and defense, even though the defense still needs to clean up some things, particularly the middle of the field. I can't tell you guys how many times it was third down and I was saying out loud to people watching the game with me, I said, man, they're going to pick it up right down the middle. Every time. They either picked it up or they got close. The Steve Smith touchdown through the middle. Plenty times Pitter was open. Let's not forget that. Pitter dropped, or he dropped one and had an opportunity on another right down the middle. See what I'm saying? So we gotta find a way to shore that middle up. I don't know, what coverage that we're gonna use, because I've noticed some of the time I'm seeing Shazier play underneath and they have a guy over the top. So, it could just be better offense versus good defense. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe the Joe Flacco or these other quarterbacks are placing the ball in the right spot. That happens as well. But we definitely got to start focusing more on the middle of the field, man. And maybe we need to take a few more chances. And when we're playing a team that doesn't have an elite receiver on the outside, maybe we take chances and leave guys one-on-one out there and double the middle area. Think about if we have to face Kansas City and Kelsey. We're going to have to keep our eye on that. You know what I mean? And, hey, we'll see, guys. But I'm overjoyed, man, about this game because, like I said, it's not just that we get into the playoffs. We've been getting to the playoffs. It's the fact that we stamped our own ticket to get in. We did it on our own merit, won the division, and it was against the Ravens, who have been giving us the business the last 2-3 years. Good to finally get that stench off, man. Get that monkey off your back, if you will. But that's all I got for you guys this week, man. The only thing else I will say, in the Cleveland game, I wouldn't mind seeing some guys sit down. At the same time, it wouldn't bother me if we kept guys playing, because I always feel like keep that gas burning while it's burning. Sometimes I think bye weeks and things like that could slow some teams down. And somebody reminded me earlier in the week, we haven't played that well off of the bye. So I'm not opposed to having the starters play for a while, if not the full game. At the same time, I noticed that we haven't played with all of these guys in a playoff game in the last couple years, where you had Bell, Brown, and Ben, in important games. So these guys have either been injured, in the most important playoff game last year, Antonio Brown had the concussion, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't bother me at all if we maybe didn't play Ben. Maybe, Bell didn't play. We let D'Angelo get himself back into the fold, him and Toussaint, so they can be ready to go in the playoffs. I would love to see maybe DeMarcus Ayers get a little more time at receiver. Maybe throw Coates back out there and Kobe Hamilton. Of course, Eli Rogers, guys that we're going to need to step up. Maybe even Ladarius Green. But if he's concussed, maybe hold him out. But if he's ready to go, let him get some more snaps because he still needs to get that, get more playing time in. And, defensively, maybe let a couple guys, sit out. Maybe. But again, defensively, no, I'm going to take that back. Let them play because they need to work. Let's not kid ourselves. And against Cleveland, it would be a great opportunity because this is going to be a team that's trying to win. So it would be great for our defense to still be out there. Yeah, and let them continue to play. But the offense and Pouncey as well as another guy, I think Tomlin said he may rest. I'm not opposed to that. So we'll see, guys. This Cleveland game doesn't matter. Ordinarily, I would be pissed if we were to lose to Cleveland, being that they're 1-14. But seeing what's on the line, nothing. Seeing that we've clinched the division and seeing that our starters probably are not going to play as far as the heavyweights on offense, I don't care what happens. Last thing I will say, I like to see if Zach Mettenberger play. I'd like to see him play instead of Landry Jones. Because let's face it, I think Landry Jones is gone. His contract is over after this year. We better not bring him back. No disrespect to Landry, but you just haven't showed enough for me to feel confident to re-sign you. I think we start that process over this year. Well, yeah, this coming draft the quarterback for the future and see what he has for us. Because even with Bruce, Bruce has been hurt the last 2 years. Maybe we need a second and a third. You know what I mean? But we'll see, guys. That's all I got for you, man. I'm so happy to be bringing you guys this show, man. A victory. It could have been worse, and y'all know I would have been pissed. Beyond pissed. But there you have it, guys. So that's all I got for you this week, guys. Definitely when you see that face appear here, go ahead and click on that to subscribe to the channel. Check out some more content. And like always, guys, I promise it will never hurt you to hit that like button. Make sure you share the show, man, because I want this to grow bigger and better. Even in the future, maybe next season, I want to start incorporating some of you guys who watch on the show. Maybe we'll do it live as like a hangout or something like that. So I got a lot of ideas, guys. We just got to get this show to get to a certain level where we can expand it and take it to the next level. So that's all I got, guys. Everybody stay tuned. We'll see what we're going to do this coming week, even though it doesn't matter. But more importantly, we'll see what we're going to do in the playoffs. All right, guys. Catch you later. Here we go. Peace.